Welcome to the Waiter to Win panel discussion of the Betway Summer Cup. It's good to have you back. For those of you who haven't been reminded, let me remind you again about the betting menu in terms of this Turpentine meeting with regards to the Betway Summer Cup meet. Firstly, we've of course got a quartet carryover in the Betway Summer Cup. That pool's going to reach R2 million. And of course, the pick six players, there's a R2 million pool already to start with. So we're getting to a R10 million. And as far as the pick six is concerned. Right, with me now is Gavin Arena. He's part of our panel. He's back with us, so joins us now. Gav, good to have you with the boys. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
We're just talking about Desert Miracle, and she's over the 1160, as you know, on Saturday. You know her well enough. And the guys are saying if ideally hidden away just off the pace and explode the last bit, that she could potentially blow the field away.
Yeah, she's definitely got the ability. I think it's third run after rest, if I'm not mistaken. She's drawn on the right side of the course. I definitely think she's the horse to beat in the race. And, I think she was a bit unlucky last time. She had no cover throughout the race and still managed to run a good second.
Let's talk about, if I can, let's talk about the Johnson workwear Dingons, Gav. And I want to talk to you guys about the pace of the race because of Shoemaker being in. You rode Raffles, Gavin. Just how fast did they go in that particular race in the Graham Beck?
It was a fair run race, but it was a bit ghost up the whole way. It wasn't a true run race. They went quite early in the race and they brought it back, and then they went again and brought it back. So I don't think it was a true reflection of some of the horses' form. Yeah.
That's interesting because I want to ask you, Mike, what did you make of the pace?
Well, it was a reasonable time for Turpentine in 85 in sticky ground, so it wasn't too bad. But, a lot of horses like mine, drawn where they were, there was no option. I mean, I made a mistake by sending one of them handy, he died. Most of the horses that sat handy died, so they must have gone a reasonable pace.
Yeah.
A lot of them finished very well.
Correct.
If you want, I mean, it's easy to say Schumacher was unlucky, maybe he was a bit, but there were a few others behind that ran very, very well.
Yeah. And to question you on that, because we saw exactly what happened to Shoemaker, and that's why I'm raising the question, is that how fast were they going and what sort of pace are we expecting in the Dingons this year? I mean, I recall it always being a solid pace. They always go, don't they?
Yeah, look, I think it'd be a good even tempo. I think there is a fair amount of quality in the race. I think one has to understand that a lot of these horses are higher rated than you see here. I mean, we've got the insider trading ratings,
yes,
which are Schumacher's at about 112, 113.
Right.
We understand why the ratings were limited. If one uses Royal Victory, all of them run a lot higher. Union Square, probably even in Billy Bowlegs. So, but I mean, in this race, the ratings will get sorted out. You know what I mean? So
they'll know where they stand.
They'll know where they stand. Yeah. But I mean, if the ratings weren't as they are now, as things stand, Gabby will bear me out. Schumacher would probably be the highest rated horse.
No, East Coast.
East Coast, yeah, because East Coast runs to 123, but they would have given him 116, so that makes him better than Charles Dickens and Cousin Casey. I mean, come on, maybe they want to swap horses. You think we can send East Coast down there? Mrs. Rupert can swap us with Charles Dickens.
Well, we'll know.
But I mean, that's the insider trading ratings. You know what I mean?
But you're right about this will ultimately give us an answer, Gabby, as to where we're going. Now, with East Coast, I mean, what a fantastic run. Not surprised, because I think the indication was this was a good horse in your yard.
I like the horse a lot. Because of the conditions of the race, we had to have a crack, because for me, half the field were dead. They were unfit. They were prepping for something else, and he was fit.
Right.
It's just slightly too short for him. But he is a quality horse, don't get me wrong, and he's drawn well. So, hot pace would suit a horse like him, for sure.
And I was impressed with Union Square, the way he finished. He finished
also
like
came from the back of the field.
Yeah.
As with this horse, East Coast, more a classic Derby type horse, in my opinion. Whereas Schumacher's the classic Milo, if you ask me.
Okay, so I think I know where you are. Shoemaker, where you Gabs on this?
Clyde, the horse that brings the best form into the race is East Coast.
Right.
No doubt. His run last time was by far the best. And my advice to anyone that likes sparkling water and that's tipping sparkling water in the Grade 1 Summer Cup needs to have a bet on East Coast. The horse beat sparkling water 3 weeks ago. That's a major run. But I like Union Square. At 8-1, let me put it this way. I make it a 2-horse race between Union Square and Shoemaker.
Right.
Shoemaker was the unlucky horse last time, and he could potentially be superb. But there's no ways Shoemaker can be 11-10 and Union Square 8-1.
Yeah.
Union Square is having the third run after rest. He's finishing just as fast. And in my mind, they were drawn 15 and 16. This time they're drawn 1 and 11. Can there be 1.75 lengths difference with the draws? Yes. 8-1, big price, get on.
I think you'll get 10-1 with Betway.
I doubt that.
You doubt it
I
after
doubt
tonight. Okay. Gavin, let's talk about Meridius quickly. Just give us some sort of idea, firstly, about that and what you think. I mean, it's a great quality field.
It is a great field, Mr. Basil. I think the 3-year-olds this year, they're a great crop of horses. I think we're going to have a lot of fun in the future with them. My ride, we got blinkers on him for the first time. I feel he probably wants a bit more ground, but he's a very nice horse. He moves really well. And I think it was a very good run last time. He had to give some very nice 3-year-olds a lot of weight. And he ran a very good race.
Okay, so Meridius certainly got to have a trifecta quartet chance, but he is up against his stiffest test to date. Of that, there's no doubt, in the likes of Shoemaker, who was very unlucky not to have won the Graham Beck. Let's go and have a quick look into our next, which of course is the Betway Summer Cup. We want to firstly show you the field. There's the lineup for those of you that have not familiarised yourself with it. It's the Grade 1, R2.5 million Betway Summer Cup, the first half of the field up there. And of course, Mike de Kock, who's in the studio with us, has got MK's Pride, Sparkling Water and Safe Passage, as well as Aragosta on the very first page. Let's go to the second page of the final field, where 19 of them will go to the gate. Sean Terry steps him out. He's won 4 of the last 5 Betway Summer Cups, and he certainly is very confident of a big run with the runners from his stable. The interesting thing about the race course comes out of the Victory Moon, and this is a race that we want to show you now, and we'll pick it up over the last few hundred metres, and I'll talk to Gavin Larina, to Gabriel Soma, and to Michael de Kock about the race. Let's pick them up now and take a look at the last 400 or 500 metres. Is Sparkling Water too handy, Michael, in your opinion?
No. I didn't mind where she was. Perhaps was travelling well and he let her go a little early, but he was, and she actually, I think she heads litigation, who then comes back to win, but she's giving him, I think, 8.5 kilos or something.
Correct.
And she was entitled to run out of steam. You know what I mean? She wasn't 101% wound up, and the fact that she had quite a hard run, I was very happy.
Were you? That's what I wanted. Watch Nebraska bottom right, how that starts to fly at the finish, coming at East Coast and Sparkling Water as well.
Yeah, he flies well. A lot of them are going slower, though.
Yeah.
They're actually slowing up, a lot of the horses.
Right. So maybe we don't have to overwrite that too much. Okay, we won't read into that too much then. But it's always been a pointer, Gabriel, this bit of the Victory Moon. I mean, Sparkling Water won it last year, and Flying Carpet came out of there, who ran 4th to win the Summer Cup. So it must be an indicator to give you some sort of idea as to where you are.
No, it's a lovely race, Clyde. It's definitely one of the major preps into the Summer Cup, the other being the Allied Steel Rod Charity Mile. But Clyde, we've got to go on form, and strictly on form, you have to go with the Charity Mile form. Because Litigation, who won the Victory Moon, ran 7 lengths behind them in the Charity Mile. So straight away, just on that, anything that Litigation beats has to now raise their game even further to get to Litigation, and then raise it even further to get to the Charity Mile form. On the Charity Mile form, Porto Manzano is the horse to beat. He's having his 3rd run after a rest. He beat them. There's no weight difference. You've got Safe Passage and Red Saxon as the horses closest to him. My concern with them is being 2nd run after a race. But as I'm saying, it's 2 trainers that have won many Group 1 races. So at the end of the day, you take your chances. I do worry about 2nd run after a race, but that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it works or doesn't work.
Right.
So for me, Porto Manzano is the horse to beat. Safe Passage, the danger. and Red Saxon for the quartet.
Do you rate
The
Sparkling
only-
at all in terms of...
The only other reason I don't like the Victory Moon form, and this is no disrespect to a horse like Nabras, who you actually mentioned,
Yeah.
is the fact that he's a stayer, 3,200 meter horse, and he was able to finish in a 1,800
The way he did.
second run off the rest. That concerns me. That's put me off the form.
Okay.
Sparkling Water is a top class filly. The way she won the July, there's no disputing that. But I got to go on her latest run. It was 3 weeks ago, and just on that, I'm going to look to go with the other horse in other stable companion in Safe Passage and say he's the right one from the stable.
Okay, but Portman's Honour, your first choice.
Portman's Honour is
Currently
my first
10
choice.
to 1 from Gabriel. Gavin, you've won this race a few times, so you know what it takes to win a Betway Summer Cup. You've got one of the Jan Janssen van Vieren horses in their second base, and you'll know the horses well enough. Where do you think you fit in here? Second base and generally the stable.
You know what? He was very disappointing last time. His prep was going really well, but he's a type of horse that if he wants to run on the day, he'll give you his all, and if he doesn't, I'm going to get beaten 5-6 lengths. I can say he's very well. He's moving very well at home, and I'm hoping for the best. I think I've got a nice weight to carry. I'm pretty happy with the 55.5, and on his day, he's a good horse. I mean, he ran second to give me the green light, if I'm not mistaken, over the 10 furlong.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the ability. The stable, Pieto's, he's working up with Storm. I think whatever beats him will win. On work at home, he's just...
Is he flying?
He's flourishing at home. Jan's done a great job with him. And I think whatever beats him is going to win.
Portman's Honour, Gavin Larina's on the same. Michael, let's just talk about your yard. I mean, I understand you'll have respect for the likes of Portman's Honour.
He's a swing at the weights,
Yeah,
you know, with Sparkling Water in his favour.
yes, correct. But I understand the weight that she's going to shoulder. I've said it before that we saw what Summer Pudding did last year with top weight. Good horses carry, and she's good enough. I mean, she won the Hollywood Bets Durban July impressively, and she hasn't lost her touch. Last time out, she did nothing wrong. The fact that you were happy that she was so close up gives me a little bit of peace of mind that she was shown up so soon as she was.
Yeah, as I say, I was more than happy of where she was in running. I don't think that she's reached her limit in terms of merit rating yet. I think she still has improvement because she's a Silvana. And she's only, if I look at her now, there's even more of her than there was at 4. You know, she had a break at Maritzfontein in the paddock for 6 weeks, running around there. And she's getting better and better. But, you know, strict handicapping. I'd love to have had 2 runs under the belt. It just wasn't going to happen given the fact that she needed time off after the July. She'd had a hard campaign. So you can't, and there's a hard campaign still ahead. You know what I mean? It's not only this. We're going to hopefully go to Cape Town, come back here for a few other races, and hopefully go and defend in the July. So, you know, it's tough to have them at absolute peak every time they run and every month.
Right.
But I like the way she's going. She's moving into a really nice space. And as I said, I think she's a better filly this year than she was last year. I know she won the July, but she was well handicapped.
I understand that, but that's a big statement. I'm happy to hear it. And the rest of them, you can tick the box on them?
Same goes for them. Safe Passage, not a horse that gives away a hell of a lot. You know, he just does enough in work. Aragosta's last run was a very poor run. He's done well since. Blinkers are off. He also was desperate for a break, had to give him the break. You know, so as I say, you know, it's not ideal not going in with one run, but they're above average sorts, and they're all on the improve.
Well, that at the end of the day is what you want to hear, that the stables, well, they like them. Mike has given thumbs up, in particular to Sparkling Water, as you heard. Red Saxon, I think, is a bit of a shrewdie. I like that last start too, and I think...
At the weights,
yeah,
must have a big chance.
They must have chances, yeah. So we won't leave him out. We want to talk about the Ipitombi now, and let's get onto this race. Gabby, I'll come to you first. Give me an idea. The market's got Feather Bow at top of the boards at the moment, just ahead of Give Me a Shot. And a horse like Under Your Spell. What do you like?
I wish Jonathan was still in the seat to find out if they're betting 3-year-olds versus the older horses.
You have a
because
bet.
I can tell you what, you can have a go on the 3-year-olds.
Okay.
Generally, it's a race that 3-year-olds do well in. and I really do like them. I think Feather Boa is probably the filly to beat. I know I come on the show every time. It's just worked out that way, and I've tipped her generally every time. I thought she was a bit unlucky last time not to win it.
Yeah.
I think over 1,600 it will suit her better. So I make her the horse to beat. Give me a shot, race 3 wide last time. As you know, I hate that when it happens. It can happen for whatever reason. But the fact that you finish that close after racing 3 wide, it needs to be taken note of, and that makes her a massive runner. Billy Rooters has done extremely well with Miss Daisy. I mean, the filly's been a top-class filly from day one, and the fact that she won her last start, which was the Starling Stakes, shows that he definitely knows what he's doing, and it's lovely to see Billy doing what he's done with the filly, and she must be respected. So those are the 3 horses I think will finish first, second, and third. I'd be surprised if the older horses win.
Anything else? I have to ask Kevin what he thinks of his ride, Gav.
Yeah, look,
In the race?
she was obviously very disappointing last time. I think she was almost favourite, or everybody fancied her last time. Candace said that she got a bit big on her because of all the rain they had. I can tell you she's had 2 gallops since her last run. She's tripping a fitter horse, but I do think she should enjoy a bit more ground. But she's a very honest filly, and she's a grounder. If the pace is on, she'll ground to the line.
Okay, so she's well. Good to know. Thanks, Gav. And then just the last race, because Michael's got a couple in the last of the pick 6, Motown Magic and Alphatic.
Alphatic.
Yeah. Nice horse.
Yeah, he's a definite improver and a lot better than he's rated. Fortunately, the conditions of this race allows you to run horses as under sufferance as he is. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a race. Actually,
Sure.
it wouldn't hold it wouldn't stand up. You know, he's got a big plus sign against his rating. For me, this is a field race. I mean, anything can happen. It's a 3-2 Turfentine. You know, it's all about pace, marching on together. He won a very good race last time. I think he could be very close to the best rated.
Yeah.
Or not. Imperial Ruby's the best rated, okay? But very open. I foresee a field leg. Yeah.
My boys are tipping marching on together. Yeah. You, Gabby?
Yeah, he won a good race last week, so he's got to be respected. A horse that's in good form always has to be respected. And as crazy as it might sound, it's not really a dropping class from a middle stakes to the Racing Association at this stage.
I understand.
But yeah, so he's got to be respected. Imperial Ruby, impossible that this horse is 7-1, if that's correct.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. He's the class horse in the race. He's taken on horses that are running in the Summer Cup. So at 7-1, I tell you what, have a bet, because
You
just
like a
the
lot.
value at 7-1 is crazy. He'll start 5-2, 3-1.
Thanks to Jonathan. Thanks to Jonathan at 7-1, Imperial Ruby. Gav, you know, marching on together. And I think runs well when those races are close together. So that's why my guys are tipping it. You know him.
Yeah, look, he loves his racing, this horse. I was actually suspended the other night when I saw him, the other day when I saw him go to the gate, and he's moving really well. Mr. Gray's got him in a good space. I won this race on him last year, and I think he carried 58, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So, you know, he's definitely going to get the trip. I think he's the horse to beat in the race, but you've got to respect the lightweights.
Okay, guys, well, you've heard it from our team. I want to thank Gavin Arena, Jonathan Bloomberg, Gabriel Soma, and Michael de Kock. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming into our studio. It's been great, and I hope it's going to be a fantastic weekend for you guys. Thanks, Mike.
Let's hope so for Betway too. You know, it's weather holds out. It's very important that their first experience is going to be a really good one.
It's going to be a fantastic one. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at Turfentine.